Welcome back to Warriors Nation News, where we speak directly to the heartbeat of the Bay. As another offseason unfolds, fans across Dub Nation are asking one burning question: what is Golden State doing to fix what went wrong last year? After an early exit in the 2025 playoffs and an aging roster that failed to keep up with the Western Conference elite, the silence from the front office has been louder than ever. But amidst that quiet, one name keeps surfacing: Al Horford. The seasoned Boston Celtics big man, fresh off another deep playoff run, is reportedly being eyed by the Warriors. And for many fans, the idea makes sense: veteran leadership, floor spacing, experience, a champion. But not everyone is sold on the move, and one voice in particular just added a strong warning to the conversation. That voice belongs to Udonis Haslem, the longtime enforcer of the Miami Heat and one of the most respected veterans the NBA has seen. And his message to the Warriors about Al Horford was crystal clear: he does not address your needs. Haslem appeared on ESPN's NBA Today, and while showing admiration for Al as a person and professional, didn't hold back on why he believes the fit in Golden State just doesn't make sense. When you talk about bringing in Al, I love Al, but he does not address your needs of athleticism. You're talking about another guy who's older, and he does not address your need of having size, he said. He's not wrong. Horford, at 39 years old, is still a high IQ player with solid shooting and positioning. But the Warriors just let Kevon Looney walk in free agency. They currently have no true center who can bang with the physical bigs of the West. Horford stands at 6'9", and while capable of defending bigger players in stretches, he lacks the verticality and athleticism that this roster desperately needs. And as Haslem points out, the rest of the Western Conference is loading up on size and athleticism. Houston now features Jabari Smith Jr., Sengun, and newly returned Steven Adams, plus Clint Capella. Denver still has the MVP giant Nikola Jokic anchoring its title-contending core. Minnesota boasts Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns, combining length with floor spacing skill. OKC continues to rise behind their long, versatile frontcourt led by Chet Holmgren. The trend is clear: the best teams in the West aren't going smaller. They're getting longer, more athletic, and more versatile. So while Al Horford would bring leadership and locker room presence, he simply doesn't move the needle in those critical areas. Still, this doesn't mean the Warriors are out of options or out of hope. Let's not forget, the Warriors' blueprint for success has never been about mimicking the league. It's about forcing the league to adapt to them. They didn't win 4 championships because they matched size for size. They won because of unselfish movement, basketball IQ, and shooters who could torch you from anywhere on the floor. But even with that identity, it's hard to ignore the physical mismatch Golden State now faces inside. Without a true center or a big with elite mobility, they will continue to struggle against teams that crash the glass, protect the rim, and punish small lineups. Which brings us to the bigger picture. What is Golden State's plan this offseason? Because if it's not Horford, and according to Haslem, it shouldn't be, then who? That answer may depend on the Warriors' next internal domino, Jonathan Kuminga. So let's pause and ask the real question to Dub Nation. Is Al Horford the kind of player you believe fits in this next chapter of Warriors basketball? Or is Udonis Haslem right? Does this team need to chase youth, athleticism, and size instead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Would Horford be a smart addition for leadership and shooting? Or is signing him a move in the wrong direction? Should the Warriors go younger and more athletic, even if it means a longer rebuild? This franchise has always made bold moves, but now they must make the right ones. And while Al Horford is a respected vet, his addition may be more about nostalgia than need. Stay locked in, because in Chapter 2, we'll turn our focus on Jonathan Kuminga, his breakout performance in the playoffs, his current restricted free agency situation, and how his next move could shape the entire future of this team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a report from Warriors Nation News. This offseason is just heating up, and we're here for every second of it. Welcome back to Warriors Nation News, where every story is told through the voice of the fans who live and breathe Golden State basketball. In Chapter 1, we broke down the speculation around Al Horford and why Udonis Haslem believes the Warriors need to rethink that potential signing. Now, it's time to shift the spotlight to a name that's sparking even more debate across Dub Nation: Jonathan Kuminga. He's explosive, he's athletic, he showed flashes of star potential when the lights were brightest. And yet, here we are, mid-off-season, and Kuminga's future with the Warriors is anything but certain. He was once considered untouchable. Now, he may be the most valuable trade piece the team has left. So what exactly is going on with Jonathan Kuminga? And should the Warriors build around him or use him to chase immediate contention? Let's start with what he's earned. After being inconsistently used during the regular season, Kuminga stepped up when it mattered most, in the 2025 Western Conference semifinals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. With Steph Curry sidelined due to a hamstring injury, it was Kuminga who took on the scoring load, showing poise, confidence, and serious two-way potential. He averaged 15.3 points per game, shot 48.4% from the field, and an impressive 40% from three. In the final 3 games of the series, he exploded for 20-plus points in each contest, including a breakout 30-point performance in Game 5. It wasn't just volume, it was efficiency, urgency, and growth. This is what the Warriors drafted him for: a versatile forward who can guard multiple positions, slash to the rim, and hit the open three. Someone who could, one day, carry the torch after Steph, Dre, and Clay. But as always with Kuminga, the flashes come with frustration. Despite the physical tools, his consistency remains in question. His defense can be spotty, his shot selection questionable, and perhaps most importantly, he still struggles to fully adapt to Steve Kerr's read and react system, a system built on passing, movement, and knowing where to be before the ball even gets there. That's been the biggest knock from inside the locker room. Kuminga's feel for the game hasn't caught up with his athleticism, and under Kerr, that has often meant limited minutes, sometimes undeservedly so. Which brings us to now. Jonathan Kuminga is a restricted free agent, and negotiations with the Warriors have reportedly been slow. According to Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto, there's a belief around the league that the Warriors are open to a sign-and-trade if the right deal comes along. Some teams, like the Sacramento Kings, have been linked, but nothing has materialized yet. Scotto notes that Sacramento would likely need to move other pieces first, possibly in a multi-team deal. There's even talk that if Kuminga doesn't get the offer he's seeking, Golden State might re-sign him and then flip him closer to the February trade deadline. So here's the dilemma. Do the Warriors keep Kuminga, bet on his continued growth, and potentially watch him flourish alongside Steph, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green? Or do they capitalize on his value now, using him as a primary asset to acquire size, shooting, or even another all-star level player? Because make no mistake, Kuminga has real value across the league. He's just 22. He's shown playoff chops, and on the right team with a simplified role, he could become a 20-point-per-game scorer within a year or two. But is Golden State the right environment for that to happen? So let's bring this to you, Dub Nation, because this question might shape the next 5 years of Warriors basketball. Is Jonathan Kuminga part of the future in Golden State, or is he the key to unlocking one last title run now? We want your thoughts in the comments. Should the Warriors re-sign Kuminga and give him a bigger role next season? Is it time to package him in a trade for a big man, a star, or an upgrade in the front court? Would you rather see him thrive in another system or grow within the Warriors culture? And most importantly, do you believe in Jonathan Kuminga? Because if the front office does, they need to commit. But if they don't, it's time to make a move before his value dips or another team snatches him up for less than he's worth. Stay tuned for Chapter 3, where we'll explore the center position crisis, what the Warriors are looking for in the paint, and whether this quiet offseason is building towards a surprising finish.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from Warriors Nation News. The decisions being made now, they could define the next dynasty or close the door on it.
Welcome once again to Warriors Nation News, where we keep our feet on the hardwood and our eyes on the future. In Chapter 1, we broke down why Udonis Haslem believes Al Horford isn't the solution. In Chapter 2, we explored the Jonathan Kuminga dilemma and whether his future lies in Golden State or as a trade chip. Now it's time to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of one. Because no matter how you slice it, the Golden State Warriors have a gaping hole in the middle. With Kevon Looney gone, Trayce Jackson-Davis still unproven, and no real center signed, the team is entering the 2025-26 season with one undeniable weakness: no true interior anchor. And in a Western Conference dominated by physical, athletic bigs, that weakness could cost them everything. So who's out there? What type of big man do the Warriors actually need? And what would it take to bring one in? Let's break it all down. Let's start with where we are now. Kevon Looney, one of the last remaining links to the dynasty era, is no longer on the roster. His departure leaves a massive void in defensive rebounding, screen setting, and toughness. He wasn't flashy. He didn't fill the stat sheet. But ask anyone in the locker room, Looney did the dirty work. And he did it well. His absence is already being felt, and the Warriors haven't filled that hole. Currently, the only true center with upside is Trayce Jackson-Davis. While he showed flashes last season, including some solid rim protection and finishing, he's still raw and hasn't faced playoff-level pressure. Asking him to anchor a title contender in just his second season? That's a gamble. One the front office doesn't seem ready to take on its own. Then there's the brief flirtation with Al Horford, a move that, as we covered, won't solve the size or athleticism issue. Horford can stretch the floor and bring veteran poise, but as Udonis Haslem made clear, he doesn't address the Warriors' most pressing need: rim protection and verticality. So what do the Warriors need? Size and athleticism. They need someone who can protect the rim, challenge shots, and switch onto wings in certain coverages. Look at teams like Minnesota with Rudy Gobert or OKC with Chet Holmgren. They have length and timing, and they alter shots just by being present. Rebounding. Golden State was inconsistent on the boards all season. That hurt them, especially in second-chance situations. They need a center who can secure defensive rebounds, extend possessions on offense, and hold his ground against elite bigs. Compatibility with Steve Kerr's system. This is huge. Kerr's offense requires bigs who can move without the ball, pass out of the post, and not clog the paint. That narrows the list of potential fits considerably. Think less back-to-the-basket traditional bigs and more modern hybrid centers. So, who's available? Free agency has already dried up in many ways. Names like Clint Capella, Nick Richards, or even Isaiah Hartenstein, who's now off the market, were discussed, but the Warriors didn't pounce. That leads us to the trade market, where things could get interesting. If the Warriors are serious about finding a center who checks all the boxes, they may need to explore packaging assets like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or even Andrew Wiggins' contract to land the right big. Potential targets? Robert Williams III, injury-prone but elite defensively when healthy. Walker Kessler, the Utah, young, mobile, and one of the best shot blockers in the league. Mark Williams from the Hornets, untapped potential, but would require giving up serious value. Nick Claxton from the Nets, switchable, bouncy, and perfect in a motion offense, but pricey. All of these options come with complications: contracts, cap space, and assets needed. But if the Warriors want to contend seriously in 2025-26, they can't roll into battle without someone who can hold the line inside. It's also why Kuminga's trade value is so important. Whether fans want to keep him or not, the Warriors may need to use his upside to fix this critical roster flaw. Otherwise, they risk another season where Steph Curry puts up 30 a night, only for opponents to punish them in the paint and crash the offensive glass without resistance. So here's our final question for Dub Nation in this trilogy. Who should be the Warriors' next center? Should they bet on Trayce Jackson-Davis or trade for someone with more experience? Let us know in the comments.
Who's your dream fit in the paint? Would you trade Kuminga or Wiggins to land a rim protector? Do you trust the current front office to solve this issue before the season begins? This team still have the heart of a champion. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry, but no title run can succeed without an interior foundation. No team wins with a hollow middle. It's time for the Warriors to find their anchor. Stay tuned right here on Warriors Nation News as we track every rumor, every update, and every opportunity for the Dubs to rebuild their wall under the rim. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell because whatever happens next could define the Warriors' championship hopes for years to come.